man is now in jail after eluding police on a vehicle pursuit through campus. Thanks for joining ArgoCast this week. I'm John Webb. That man, Robert Brown Jr., eluded police 3 different times before the pursuit came to an end on 6th Street. Brown Jr. was wanted for felony charges, including aggravated assault and domestic battery. Brown was discharged from the hospital Thursday morning and taken to Latah County Jail, where he faces felony charges for aggravated assault, domestic battery, operating a stolen vehicle, and eluding an officer. There's been an uproar after ASUI Senate proposed a resolution that would discontinue the homecoming fireworks show. Senator Mary Alice Taylor proposed the resolution. She says there are many harmful effects that come with the fireworks show.
In terms of those with PTSD, I think a lot of us more so know this one, like the loud gunshot type noises can be very triggering for a lot of people who have gone through like active combat and that kind of stuff. And then in terms of wildlife, it's the same thing with like the loud triggering noises, especially at night when a lot of wildlife are sleeping. It jolts them awake. Specifically, birds will fall from their nests.
The Homecoming Committee attended the Senate hearing on Wednesday night. Homecoming Committee co-advisor Marie Duncan says she didn't find out about the resolution until a couple of hours beforehand.
To have the governing body, the student leaders of the student body say kind of that they don't appreciate it, they don't support it, it was just hard to stomach.
The Vandal card office allowed printing again on Monday using a person's preferred name, but as of October 21st, Vandal cards are required to include additional language. Beginning Monday, all cards going forward will be printed with the statement regardless if the student, faculty, or staff uses a preferred name or not. On the front, it'll say, "Not for official identification." And on the back, the name shown on this card may not be the holder's legal name. Vice President of Information and Chief Information Officer Dan Ewert has been working to make sure it is sensitive to students, especially those who identify as transgender or non-binary. However, some transgender students were frustrated when they didn't receive their updated cards on the 3rd. Ewert said the students have been asked to come back to the office starting Monday to receive their updated Vandal card with the additional language. It used to be Idaho Memes for Spuddy Teens, now it's Idaho Memes for Scott's Tots. Even though the name has changed, the purpose for the page has remained the same. The Facebook meme page, which is not officially associated with the university, started back in 2017. The page now has almost 4,000 members, the majority of which are students or alumni. These members can post memes and share them with other students, but all posts must be approved by admins. Currently, admin and 4-year student Ethan Dale designed the new banner. The previous banner depicted former UI President Chuck Staben, but once President Green was announced, they needed a new face and a new name. He says, quote, "I think it gives students an opportunity to have a way to openly express themselves, not necessarily criticize, but poke fun at some of the things that the university chooses to do." In life news, behind Winco on Farm Road sits a small farm full of pumpkins fitting for the fall season. It might not look like much, but during the spring it's full of ripe vegetables. This is Soil Stewards Student Farm. Students at the U of I might have seen this organization selling their vegetables in the Student Union building. The Soil Stewards have been around since 2004. The club allows students to get involved in the farming and harvesting process. They produce an abundance of organically managed vegetables. With all the people attracted to the club, the faculty advisor said there are students who are hoping to do a student market by next year. Inktober, a challenge to draw every day throughout the month of October, is in full swing. With 31 days in October, artists are left with 31 drawings from throughout the month. You may have noticed these illustrations on your timeline, newsfeed, or anywhere you live online. In 2009, artist Jake Parker started the concept of Inktober when he realized he wanted to challenge himself. Since then, it has taken off and become a worldwide sensation. You only have a few more days left, so you better get drawing. FWord Live, a poetry slam started by students, was free to all this year. The event was free for U of I students, Washington State University, and even 18-year-old Moscow High School students. FWord Live has always been important to Becca Miller-McPhee, a former UI student who was a part of a club called the Feminist-Led Activist Movement to Empower, which started FWord Live back in 2006. The event was held on Thursday at 7 p.m. in the Bruce Pittman Center. In sports news, after the Vandal volleyball team lost many of its core players last season, the team retooled by bringing in some freshmen with high skills and competence. Idaho freshman middle blocker Kira Palmbush has started her Vandal career, showcasing why she can become one of the next Vandal greats. Playing volleyball since she was in middle school, Palmbush's motivation comes from working hard to prove those who doubted her wrong. Idaho head coach Debbie Buchanan said she has been surprised by Palmbush's impressive start. She said, quote, "Palmbush has had to step in and play a pretty big role. She has handled it well." Palmbush has just began her time as a Vandal, but with the support from her teammates, the ceiling continues to grow for the young star. Vandal basketball tipped off the season in a close loss, making for a rough start to the 2019 season. The Vandals lost 88-81 against the Central Washington Wildcats Tuesday night. While there are a couple of familiar faces on this year's team, there were a lot of new faces. 6 Vandals made their debut. Quentin Forrest made the most out of his debut, finishing with 15 points in the game. Once the second half was underway, the Vandals were able to cut into the Central Washington lead, but ultimately fell short in the end. And you can catch the full story and much more on the Vandal Scoreboard podcast on KUOI or online at vandalnation.com. In Opinion this week, our copy editor Nicole Henberg wrote a piece about something that has been debated for the past few years: tattoos in the workplace. Nicole joins us now. So first of all, you've done some research on the subject and spoke with a social worker. What did you find out about tattoos in the workplace?
I've noticed a trend in visible tattoos in various places of businesses, like doctors' offices and things like that I haven't noticed before.
You mentioned in the article that whether or not people have a tattoo, they do their job the same way, but I want to hear your opinion about vulgar tattoos and if they should be allowed in the workplace.
Like I talked about in my column, having body art does not determine your ability to be a good worker or to be a good person. As for vulgar tattoos, the majority of people with a tattoo will not have vulgar ones. So it's going to be a very rare situation where somebody's going to have a vulgar tattoo in the workplace. And if they do, they should just be asked to cover it. It would be just the same as somebody walks in with a vulgar t-shirt. They would be asked to change. So it should not be allowed in the workplace, but it would be a very rare occurrence.
Nicole, thank you, and a big thanks to you for taking your time to be with us this week. Until we speak again, I'm John Webb. Have a great week.